What's up YouTube, it's me Evan, back with another video. This time I'm celebrating the release of the physical copy for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. As you can see, this has X-Men, Children of Atom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and The Punisher, the first game that Marvel and Capcom collaborated on. Now, this is a huge event here, because previously if you wanted to play this, you had to spend tons of money on the aftermarket to get them and the consoles, or get an arcade 1-up, and even then you'd have to get 2 arcade 1-ups because Punisher was not released on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 one. This artwork's incredible, I love it. You got Thanos chilling back there, Dr. Doom, Bison. It's a good looking Psylocke. And if you open it up, the disc has the dab. And then they got this little cheap comic book. It's made out of just regular old printer paper. No gloss or nothing to it. Same thing with the Switch version. The comic book fits better in here. They should have did a bigger one on the PS4 release. This game was released digital for both of these over a month ago. I got the digital for PS4, I've been playing it, but I had to get the physical as well. Alright, so I'm going to go over these and show you how it started. So it started right here with the Sega Saturn in Japan. This is the Japanese import. Amazing art. Shows you how to play the game. And then came out in America with this horrible, ugly art. Whoever did that, I hope they got fired. But then you got the great Jim Lee art on the back. I used to play this for hours. I even got the Sega Saturn fight stick, so I could try and replicate the arcade. So I used to play this in the arcade as well. Then they came out with Marvel Superheroes. This has horrible art as well. But in the back, they redeemed themselves. Those look like Bagley or something. This is the Japanese version for Sega Saturn. Then we got the American one. And this art ain't bad, I have to admit. I kind of like it. And in the back, no more art. Just shows gameplay. This one blew my mind because it had Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet and Dr. Doom, my 2 favorite villains from Marvel. It's melted my brain when I played this in the arcades. Had to get it for home. Next game in the series was released in American arcades, but not on American home consoles. I had to get it for Sega Saturn. I had to import this. Came with 4 megs of RAM, so it mimicked the arcade perfect animations. There goes the first official dab. This was amazing. But this version is balanced, the most balanced version. So I never got to play the crazy arcade version where every single character had a very easy infinite, everything was a wall bounce, and this is the version, the balance you'll get on the new collection as well, Sega Saturn. Now this did come out for PS1, but I never had a PS1 growing up because I knew how horrible they were for 2D fighting games. They had so many missing frames and animation and stuff like that, so I stuck with the Saturn. Far superior and more powerful console. Then, super awesome, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. A lot of people didn't like this one. They said it was lazy, but I loved the characters in it. I had a lot of fun, especially Cyber Akuma or Mecha Goki. We got Norimaru in there hiding. There he is. He wasn't released in the American arcades, only in Japan, and now he is in the collection. If you select the Japanese version of the game, you get to play as Norimaru. Next to come out was the Marvel vs. Capcom. This added a huge amount of characters and a bunch of cool assist characters. This was my favorite game in the arcade. I played it, beat it with every character. Had to get it at home for my modded Dreamcast that can play European, American, and Japanese games. Love this art. This is my favorite piece of artwork ever. Then the American version came out. They didn't show off all the art. There's some haters. This is what this looks like. And then it sold so well, they re-released it as an all-star. Had to get that. And then the absolute favorite of mine is Marvel vs. Capcom, because they just added every character except for Norimaru. And a lot of the hidden characters are missing. But they were just color skins. This blew my mind. I had to import it right away when I heard it existed. Got it in. And I couldn't unlock all the characters. Because in Japan you had to take your controller and memory VMU to the Japanese arcades to get points to buy the characters. So I could only unlock... And I think also online. I think you had to play it online to unlock characters. I'm not sure. So then I found a local arcade in the mall that had it, and I would play it insanely amount with kids I knew from high school and stuff like that, and strangers. I would enter tournaments. I was obsessed with this. Then here's the American version. I finally got to play with all the characters at home. In the arcade, it was taking forever to unlock the characters. This didn't take so long for me. You just beat it over and over and over again and collect the monies that were points to buy them. This, to me, is still the best version ever. I like this version better than the arcade. The arcade had a lot of slowdown. Then the next generation, they re-released it for PS2 and Xbox. I got it for Xbox because the PS2 version had horrible reviews. They said it was so bad, the graphics sucked, it didn't run right. So I got this version since Xbox was more powerful. Around this time, I would always get the Xbox version because it was the most powerful of all the consoles if they had a third-party release. And this played okay to me. Then they released it for Xbox 360 and PS3. I skipped 360 and went for PS3, one of my favorite consoles of all time. And all this was a digital download, no disc. And it was a GameStop exclusive. So that was some hater stuff, but I still have my PS3. I can still play this version if I want. It was HD remastered. They stretched it out to match your TV aspect ratio. So some combos stopped working or were harder to do that way. Then Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was locked away for many years. Maximilian, somebody prevalent in the video game universe and FGC, came out with free hashtag free MVC2. And finally it was done by Arcade 1-Up. And they came out with this cabinet. I think this was a $600 cabinet. I had to have it for Arcade 1-Up. For Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I just needed it. And it has online play, but the online sucks. So I only play local. And then Punisher was locked away. They came out with a Sega port that was horrible for Sega Genesis. Until they came up with the Arcade 1-Up for this. It was the Marvel Superheroes Arcade 1-Up. I didn't want to pay for a giant one because I knew I was waiting for this. It has all the same games except for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Punisher. So I ended up getting the small Arcade 1-Up just so I could play Punisher. And in my opinion, it's the best beat-em-up ever made. I know people like the Konami X-Men and the Konami Turtles, but Capcom knocked it out of the park with this. I think it's even better than Alien vs. Predator. So that's how I was able to get this game. Love it. And now they're all together on one collection for these two consoles and eventually crappy old Microsoft. Oh yeah, I even had to get the collector's stool. I found it for a good price on eBay or something like that. Alright, this is my collection. Everyone, enjoy playing these games. Put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.